Hello everyone, this is the CS Revelation. Welcome to a new video on Java. Today's topic is Java Scanner. In previous videos, we talked about the system out print, that is to output some data onto the console window here. But today we're going to learn how to prompt the users for inputs. So users will type their values. They will be prompted to type some values, and those values will be used in the Java application. Now, in order for us to use the Java scanner, we must import that package. So what we need to do here, simply type scanner and then name your scanner. I'm going to call this KB as in keyboard. And then I'm going to say equals new scanner. What type of a scanner is this? Is going to be system.in, which means we're going to be using it for inputs. Now, the scanner here is the class name. And KB is the object name. So with this line of code, we're instantiating this class and we're creating an object that is called KB. Of course, there will be more on this in future videos when you talk about classes and objects. But for now, you should know that scanner is the class, which is the definition or the blueprint for any object that could be created to use whatever tools or properties that the scanner has defined. So in order for us to use those tools, like the methods or the properties that the scanner has, we have to instantiate it. And that means we should create an object out of it. So by writing this line of code, we are creating an object KB that is an instance of this class that is called scanner. But if you notice here, that we have scanner underlined, and that means it's highlighting it as an error. And that if we take a look at the error message here, it says that it cannot find symbol a scanner. And in order for us to use scanner, you have installed your JDK, your Java Development Kit, and scanner is actually in the Java Development Kit. But in order for us to use it, you must import it. Now, when you click on this little icon here, this light bulb here, it gives you these options. And the first option says, do you want to add the import for the java.util.scanner? So we want to import that package. So when you click on it, it will generate this code, this line of code. You can actually simply type this code by yourself. And that is by saying that I would like to import this scanner class that is in java.util, right? So when you import it, you will be able to use it and the error is gone. Now, just know that when thinking about any types of inputs, think that there's a pair of lines of code that always go together. The first pair is going to be the prompt. So the first line of code is going to be the prompt message. The prompt message, that is the message that that is going to be outputted to prompt the users to instruct them to input a value. So that is a simple output statement. So system out print. Now, if you want to use the print, that means you want the next value to be printed on the same line. We're going to see the outcome of that in a second, but here goes the prompt message. So we're going to say, for example, enter your name, or what is your name, or any prompt message that you could think of. So what is your name? Now you do that, and then this is going to output this message here, asking the users to input their names. But now the next line of code is going to collect the value from the users. So collecting the value from the users is going to be done through the scanner. So you need to create a variable in which you're going to be collecting this value. Okay, so we're asking for names. That means we're asking for string value. So we're going to declare a variable string, let's say name, and then we make it equal to the value that comes through the scanner. So the scanner's name is KB. And then the dot operator is going to give you access to all the different members that you could use. So you could use the dot next. By the way, when you put the dot operator, it gives you this list, but when you click on each one of those, it gives you a description of what that method is used for. We are trying to collect a string value, and it's going to be just one word. So the dot next collects just one word, one token out of the user's console input. So .next will collect just one word. The .next line collects a whole sentence, right, including spaces. The .next int .next int will be used for inputting integers. .next double will be used for inputting doubles, and so on. So in this case, we're going to be using .next. And when we run this now, the first line of code here is going to output what is your name. But notice here that it says that Java Scanner is running. That means it is actually waiting for a value. So the Java Scanner is running and is waiting for a value to be typed. So it would be passed on to this variable that is called name. So you simply type the value here. So you could say, my name is John, and then press the enter key. So the John value now is passed to this variable that is called name and is stored there. Of course, you don't see what's happening in the background because it's just storing it in a variable. But let's suppose that we want to write some code to confirm that we actually have inputted that value and it is stored in the system. We can actually write another print statement. Say, for example, print your name is. So I'm going to say your, or say hello, whatever the name that was typed. So I can use the plus sign here, which is used for concatenation. So it's going to combine this text with the value of this variable that is called name. So now this is going to print hello, whatever the name that was inputted by the user. So let's run this again. It's saying, what is your name? I'm going to say Tom. Run this and it's going to say hello Tom. So hello is the result of this text, simply this static text, and Tom here is the result of the value that was typed earlier through the scanner and stored in this variable. I'm printing it here. Okay, so this is how you use the Java Scanner in a simple example, but that is when using the scanner to input strings. Now we're going to learn how to use the scanner to input also integers and doubles. Now, like I said, it should always go in pairs. So one prompt message and a scanner statement that is going to collect the value. So for example, this is this is prompt for name. Let's create a prompt for age, right? So this is a prompt for age. Now, the pair is going to be the system out print, and then we're going to print what? So a prompt message that's going to ask the users, how old are you, right? So how old are you? And of course, now this is the prompt message. What's next? It's going to be collecting the value through the scanner. So it's going to be, the age usually is an integer value. So we're going to say int age equals, say the scanner's name is kb.next int. So we use the .next int for inputting any integer value. Now, let's see if we run this now. So this is going to say, what is your name, which is the result of this line of code. And now it's waiting for us to type a value. So we will collect it. That is the result of this line. So we're going to type, for example, Tim. We run this, and this is saying, how old are you? By the way, running it means pressing the enter key. So it's saying how old are you, which is the result of this prompt message, this print statement, and it is waiting to collect the value that is an integer value. Now it is expecting an integer value, so I should be typing, let's say 25, which is an integer value, and it should say built successful. Now let's suppose that we run this and we give it a different value. It's expecting a string here. Let's give it an integer value. So if we give you 12 here, it is accepting it, and it's considering that, taking that value and making it the 12 characters, the 12 string. So it's not really thinking of 12 as an integer value. It's actually thinking about it as a string value. So it's turning it into the character 1 and the character 2. But here when we're inputting, or we're expected to input an integer value for the age, if I type a string value, notice what happens. So we get an exception that is thrown, and that is for input mismatch exception. So it was expecting an integer value, a numeric value, but it found a string value, so definitely incompatible, and that caused our program to crash and give us this failing build, and that is an error message. So make sure you give the compatible values when running this. Of course, there are validation rules that could be added to protect that from prevent that from happening and protect your program from crashing. And that's in future videos. I will be showing you that. Okay, so now let's also input a value that is going to be of type double. So it's also going to be a pair of these, a prompt message and a collection. So we're going to say prompt for, say, for example, GPA. So let's say we ask, what is your GPA? Okay, and because this is a double, we're not going to use the dot in. Now, if you forget how to spell, because this is case sensitive, if you forgot how to spell these methods, make sure you put the dot operator and choose it from the drop down menu here from these suggested options. And if you don't see it listed here, just simply start typing and it will filter these out. So we want next double, right? So that is next double. Okay, so now this is GPA and it should be of type double because we're expecting a double, so therefore our variable should be of the same type. Let's also write a print statement that's going to summarize all of this. So I'm going to use the following code. So we're going to say system out print line this time. And what am I going to print? So I'm going to say hello. So I'm going to summarize all that. So I'm going to say hello. Hello what? Next, I want to combine it with the name. So hello, whatever the name that was typed, plus another message saying you are, for example, just, you are age, plus age, the value that is in variable age. It is case sensitive, so plus another text saying your GPA is, right? Your GPA is. Okay, and we're going to say plus the value that is in the variable GPA, and close this and let's run it. So here we're going to prompt the users for the first value. This is prompting the second, this is prompting the third, and this is going to just summarize all those values and printing them in just one statement. So when we run this, first is asking what is your name. So I'm going to say John. How old are you? 24. And what is your GPA? 3.8. And this, when pressing the enter key, it's giving you this summary, which is the result of this print statement. It's saying, hello, John, you are 24 and your GPA is 3.8. So whatever we inputted here were also used here in this print statement. Now, the Java scanner is not only used for simple inputs, but is also used to input from a file So in the next video, I'm going to show you how to use the Java scanner to get inputs from a text file. Now, this is the end of this video, and I hope you found this helpful. So stay tuned to the next video, and peace.